Hello and welcome back to the fourth and final part of our regal and refined Orksford SOVL run. Sir Throcker Esquire III is well kitted out. He's got all the bells and whistles from his time graduating from prestigious university, so we just need to run through the last bit of Act 3. Now, at this stage of the campaign, we can be somewhat clever and game out how much experience we need to maximise our unit's efficiency without having to take any unnecessary battles. So the best we can do is 4. A point of experience per campsite and then 1 point of experience per battle we take. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 allows us to level basically everything at least once. So the Orc Warriors, they'll all level. So that's good. It's also beneficial as we get to double heal. So we of course took some damage at the end of the Act 2 boss last part. So going up to full strength would be convenient. And we can take these 2 fights and we can heal to full before the Act 3 final boss. Passive healing pretty much fixes the entirety of the army. We just take the XP with everyone. It's silly not to do otherwise. We'll take the skill because we may encounter enemies that are skill 5 at this point. So going to skill 6 means we can largely disregard them. Although we have +1 to hit, so that's arguably irrelevant. Oscar is leveled. Just take the attack. Try and improve his offensive output. Really, Oscar's there to endure damage. So with the Divine Protection, our Divine Wyvern, he can simply absorb endless amounts of blows, where Sir Throcker does the real cutting. Everyone else takes XP. Apart from maybe the Brutes, I'm willing to level them now. We have enough passive regeneration or future regeneration opportunities that taking the XP is more important. Recover model or even more unit size, and I think the no-brainer is more unit size. As we saw in the last part, the one thing the Brutes struggle with is encountering enemy units that are also resilient tar pits that simply stand there forever. We do tend to win because of our incredible damage output, but with our skill being what it is, and once we run out of bloodlust and curse standards, our offensive output somewhat drops. Otherwise, that'll be fine. Maleficar the Despoiler. She's a noble of some kind, we can assume. Though we outrank her. I think I said in the titles, we're a duke, she's at most a countess. We entrust the Hogshire Hussars to crush a flank, you can handle that. Everyone else down the middle, they can just run up here. Big demon to face, a pack of little demons, and a collection of heavy cavalry. These are rather potent. I can, however, I can increase the strength of this unit so much that I may be able to beat them. However, I need this unit to move first, otherwise I won't be able to catch them. Fairly confident we can one-hit kill the poor Archdevil due to our strength. Again, with their speed, though, it's a bit of a hassle. Let's see if I can trick them into a bad position next turn. It's worth a try. If we fail, then we turn around and take the exact charge we had anyway. Simply disregard and fly over here and flank the devil with Oscar. Can I step forward far enough to catch these units becomes the real test. If I can, I think I'll try it, because I'm power 4, I'll become power 5 with charge, and I can make ourselves power 6 with Warcry, which means their defense 5 is lower than ours, which is very convenient given they all have abyssal armor, so they're improving their saves, so I'll need the extra output. So this unit will come forward, I'll be countered and likely crushed by the Hogshire Hussars, so yes, I'll have this unit defeat the Abyssal Knights. Perfect, they've got it close enough to reach, now I can charge them back. Firing some shadow bolts at us. I get 2 up save re-rolling 1, so 1 in 36 chance of ever getting hurt. And with this one, I'm fairly certain because of their poor positioning, I may be able to squeeze. Oh, it's going to be tight. I have the movement for this. If I go straight, yes, but that requires I move into their arc. I could, in theory, try hiding from this unit by ending my move deep inside their movement radius. However, the hassle becomes like so. So I'm beyond their range. Now, if they charge this first, I'm doomed, because they can't countercharge as this unit is further away. Countercharging the front of an enemy unit is possible, but that's only if they charge a unit that is further away. So if you imagine there was a unit here, and they declared this charge, and it was further away, then I could counter them. I could effectively force them to take this head-on battle. However, because this would be a flank, not even though it's like because that's obviously a shorter line from there to there than it is here. I doubt I would make it. And it's obviously a disaster letting them hit me, so I'll just take the direct battle and be happy. We could, of course, gamble. We could assume that the AI will be somewhat dim-witted and take any other charge anywhere, but see, they in fact charged first with that unit. So if I did that, that would have been a terrible outcome. We'll engage near enough the entirety of our army. Which works well for us as we get to utilise Warcry. And the sincere hope is that we're not stuck in combat here in a moment. Engage all the abilities everywhere. Ooh, which one? Let's use that one. Here, I suppose this one. Have some pretty incredible power with these in a moment. And then Warcry. I think Warcry helps changing the statistics on every roll. So they have higher skill than us, which isn't surprising. But we reroll ones. We hit an average number of times. And they take slightly above average wounds, but we just win. It doesn't matter if they hold on, we can just slowly chop through them now. Ouch. And then we're power 8 over here, so even their resilience isn't going to save them. Like that. Sorcerer actually does a wound, very impressive. And the entourage managed to kill a Boar Rider, how sad. I believe we passively regenerate one Hussar for free regardless. The one that really matters, we need this to be dead. Or at least running away. That's all hits, good. Okay, full house from Throcker. Only a single hit from Oscar, which means it's going to survive on 1 wound. That's very unfortunate. One wound back. Is it fearless? Yes, it's demonic. However, because it's demonic and it lost, it loses 1 to 3 wounds, so we automatically kill it. Perfect. Going to flee. I have no reason to accept the charge from a powerful unit like Devil Spawn when I can simply leave. This unit has already rallied. It would be very nice to catch them before they come back, and I can easily do so. Perfect. Is this a rear or flank? I believe it's a rear charge, but I can try and be clever. Get as tight to Sir Throcker as possible. Not so tight that the game doesn't allow us to position there ideally. So here. Yes, that's definitely a rear charge now, so they can be easily defeated. I may as well continue the extra attack. We're only power 4 now, so this unit's now going to get a 2-up save. This will become a bit brutal. Oh well. May as well move this unit to eventually counter the Devil Spawn. So Oscar struggles to hit things, but is apparently very brave. Yep, this is really just a question of how much extra damage they can chip into us before they roll enough ones to disappear. Well, it's going to take a while. This unit will die and then we can flank and at last defeat them. This can be easily ignored. I'm not inclined to actually charge this unit as it's unbreakable, so it'll just stand there and it'll take a few extra wounds to combat resolution, but it's not really worth it otherwise. Continue the slow attrition. Lose an extra one, how dare you. Take 2 wounds, please. Only 1. Fine, we'll get it next turn. Any day now, chaps. No damage here. So if you can roll any ones, there we go. They eventually get a bad turn and roll a collection of ones, and that's it. They amazingly actually survived, even with our power 7. But we are very scary, the Dapper delegation, so they keep running. I'm going to accept this charge purely for reducing the morale of the enemy. We can end this battle slightly faster. Oh, they want a piece of us. Okay, well, that's not a problem. This unit rallies. I don't think I can reach them this turn, unless I used Oscar and Throcker to flank them, but I would rather save Oscar to hit this unit and kill them quickly. I think with all of our extra attacks, this unit hasn't used Bloodlust or Curse Standard yet, so we could do considerable damage. If I threw Oscar here as well, I think we can kill them in a single turn. Get very, very close. Slow as they are, the Dapper delegation will continue their pursuit. It's hard to move quickly when you're wearing a tin can. Yep. Fairly well, Goreblade. Tried your best. The Maleficar, the character, cheekily gets to fight backwards, but the rest of you cannot. They only get a 4-up save because of all of our extra power from charging. We do double 1. Maleficar also unbreakably brave. I don't care if I'm losing this fight, I won't be called a coward. Well, if that's more important to you than being alive, fair enough. Good evening. Mind if we just calmly slip away. Congratulations, sir. You have been outpositioned by one of the slowest units available. Too complicated. I was somewhat worried Maleficar would steal an extra kill there, but no. There's the one wound she had left. And yonder, Throcker. Hits every time, wounds every time. All he needs is more attacks now. Oscar struggling to do anything offensively again. Doesn't take any damage for it, which we appreciate. And this, wow, they had an incredible saving throw. It's enough damage to rout them this turn, as I kind of gamed out. Really goes to show how much we benefit from charging. On the turns we charge, we can do incredible damage even to highly resilient units. But when we don't have the charge, less so. We've leveled again, we can use extra skill or more of them. At this point, I'm happy with 19. There are enough ablative wounds at the back from the first, because we get 6, 6, 6, and then 1. So effectively we've got 7 extra wounds before we start losing attacks. And of those, only the front rank really matters because they go 2 attacks and then 3 with the buff. So I have enough, so I'd rather take the skill so they actually hit things somewhat competently. Okay, and then obviously everyone who's full HP takes gold. Orkgeoisie SARs are perfectly fine with 10, we don't need any more there. This unit will, well, it would heal to full at the campsite. However, I won't be able to level them. So when I reach the camp, I'm going to double heal regardless, so I should take the gold, as we won't benefit from the extra XP. And the brutes would be able to level, because I'll get a point of experience from this next battle, and then a point of experience at the last camp. So in that case, I'll only get 1 free round of healing, so it would make more sense to take the healing now. With that in mind, we would be encouraged not to sustain too much damage on the Dapper delegation. As of all of our units, it's the hardest to heal them effectively. Aeolotti, I saw that coming. This is a bit of a difficult one for us. Highly durable army, that takes a while to chew through, but we only do damage on 1 turn when we charge. In that case, what I'll do, I'll use Throcker and Oscar to skirmish with everything on this side, so the entirety of my army can defeat and detail this kind of quarter first, and we'll ignore this for a while. Happy to let them pass. They have some very minor shooting, that isn't too much of a bother. I want to wait for that irritating priest and Triceratops to step forward. Okay, this we'll have to deal with immediately. And I think the best way to do it actually would simply be standing our ground, allowing it to charge us, and then butchering it. They only have 2 wounds each, Pterodactyl Riders, so 6 wounds in total at Defense 3, Skill 3. If they touch any of these units, they'll just die. So I'm not inclined to actually do anything to counter them. The new priest will charge over here. The priest will die. He'll simply get executed for its trouble, because it'll enter a duel. So what I'll do, again, I'm going to position over here, let them come towards me, and then remove themselves from the field. The fire lizard's annoying, but I can't counteract it right now. Okay, I'll just start moving around accordingly. If you want to charge this, I don't mind. I could countercharge for the extra power, but we don't need it. Going from power 3 to power 4 is moot. Against a... Sorry, power 4 to power 5 against the defense 3 target. The little skirmishers will move at the back and fire some very poor arrow fire at us. That's not a concern. Still waiting for this to move so I can counteract it with the Orkgeoisie Hussars, but it's irritatingly not doing so. So the Brutes and the Hussars would be the best bet in defeating this due to our significant power. In fact, all the way up at power 7, even with the charge, our Hussars only go up to power 6, so against defense 7 it's still in a 3-up save. It'd be very difficult to chop through it. The brutes are really the only thing I have that can effectively defeat them. And Throcker, with all of his buffs stacked on, he can manage it as well. Let's just stand here. And they've done the smart thing. They've held on to the very end, so we'll just simply have to move forward and accept it. So, just come a bit further forward. Good angle on everything they can touch there. Or did he just reach me, sadly? Fine, this battle will happen, and then we can flank them later, once these are all dead. Okay, who's charging who? I'm not going to counter-charge here, as it would move us, and the charge would occur here, which then makes it harder to avoid these. If I insistently stay where we are, then they'll have to come all the way to me, die, bounce off, and then I can continue to skirmish and distract this half of the army. So I'm simply going to skip. I'm fairly certain this charge will happen anyway, but I'll let them do it first. That's fine, I don't intend to counter. That's also fine, I don't intend to counter. Shame that they charge those. I was kind of hoping they'll charge these and I could prevent any damage, but it's the AI gets its choice. It has the faster flying units. Don't exactly have a say in the matter. I will charge here, as going power 4 is terrible against the defense 7 enemy. It would get a 2+ armor save and we would do absolutely nothing to hurt it. Divine Favour's active, so they get +1 skill. We're higher skilled than them, so that's irrelevant. It matters for Oscar's output, but that's not too consequential. Do I use some of my extra damage abilities here? The brutes will likely want to save it for these. How much damage do we do on average? Let's calculate. Well, I'm still only skill 3, which is somewhat dire, but I would have, what, 12 attacks, so I get 6 hits on average, and then power 5, defense 3. I do exactly 4 wounds, so they actually survive. I'll use 1 now, just to make sure this disappears, and then the other ones with their higher attack numbers don't have to use the extra attacks. I'm willing to save them. Annoyingly, even this Triceratops is close enough, so I'll have to counter-charge it immediately, but that's fine. Do I use one of these now? Yes, absolutely. This is the only turn I can effectively do damage to it. May as well. I don't know what your plan is there, but that's not amazing positioning. Once this unit is dead and gone, I'll just immediately charge the Fire Lizard, thereby preventing it from ever using its Fire Breath. Most of my army engaged. The only thing that can be shot is this one Ork Warrior unit, which may happen with those skirmishes, but I can't stop it. There's nowhere to hide. Rather easy to avoid ranged fire when the enemy goes the wrong way. Thank you very much, Golden Hunters. I appreciate it. Now, with this unit, probably the best bet is to rush up here and flank and kill this, as we're almost certainly going to be stuck fighting this for quite some time. The extra damage will be appreciated. Also using Divine Favour on themselves with +1 skill. Fine, I can't stop it. Do we utilise Greater War Cry now? The move speed is irrelevant. We're purely calculating power increases. We're going to win this anyway, don't worry about it. We'll win all of these. We should win these regardless, so it would only matter over here. The power 4 plus 2 extra for the hand weapon and banner of fury for 6, and then the war cry would make us 7. 7 would be relevant as it changes it gives them a 4-up save rather than a 3-up save. We're only hitting them on 4+, unfortunately, due to Divine Favour increasing their skill. So I'd get 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 plus 4, 22 attacks, of which 11 will hit on average. And then if it's a 3-up save, it would be what? It would be 4 wounds. If it was 12, so 3.666 wounds. If it was a 4-up save, they take 5.5. It doesn't really change anything, because then I'm going to charge in this and hack it to death next turn. So no, I think I'll save it for when I have to fight possibly multiple Triceratopses or these bruisers later on. In terms of receiving damage, it won't do much. The Triceratopses are very durable. They have a very low number of attacks, and I reroll all of my saves. So I took a single wound. There's my 12 hits of 11, and there's 4 wounds. Pretty much gamed out as we thought. If I decreased the save, it would have taken 4, 5, 6. So it would still be alive, and I'd be doing the exact same charge. Yep. Hopefully we assassinate that character. Level 6 is only 1/6. It's got 3 wounds. We got it. Well done. Oscar takes 2 against the unit. That's pretty sad. Then munches 2 pterodactyls. We can perhaps imagine this battle occurring in the air as they fly around. Ouch. Good saving throws there, chaps. They do all die. Very, very fragile. The pterodactyls, their bones are hollow. Like, let's not be rude. A single dapper delegation lost is perfectly reasonable. And then wipe them. That went pretty much the way you would expect. Can't avoid this, so we may as well accept the fight. And we'll kill the fire lizard before it can ever bother us. Eliminate this Triceratops. Now, once this is dead, this unit is, I could rush up here and flank it with the brutes. I do risk losing a few more brutes, which is a real shame because I don't want them to take any damage. And they're by far my best candidate for actually defeating one of these. Maybe it's worth it. Again, I'll save Warcry. It would be nice to use it now to help Oscar. I'm power, what, 6? 7 on the charge due to holding a great weapon, so we'll have equal... You can't quite kill it on its own, but I'm not too threatened by its damage output, so we'll leave it. I'm up here. I can't... Oh, I could actually reach it to flank this turn. Do I use extra abilities here? Yes, with this unit. As this is the one with extra power due to charging, so it can actually hurt it. Rush up here. Honestly, I don't want to. I think the smarter play is to ignore this, let the hussars or someone else engage it in combat who will heal, and try and conserve wounds on the dapper delegation. The usual circumstances, we could take that fight, but not now. I'm just going to hang out around over here. Once this charge is over, I intend to flee the warriors away so they don't get flank charged. We should be able to do the last 4 wounds here. Not with the hussars. It gets a 2-up save and they do nothing. I saw that coming. This unit's the one that matters. It gets a 3. Wait. Where's my... This unit doesn't have a Banner of Fury. Oops. And... Oh, that's really bad. I misjudged that. Okay. 3 wounds from Throcker. Oscar takes none in return. And munches another 3 wounds. That's quite impressive. Got what, 2 left? Well, that's an easy win later. This won't exactly be arduous either. Oh, can they reach it? No, they can't reach to intercept. Alright, we are trapped here. So we're going to have to get charged in the back. Fine. I think the lads are one of the units I can heal spam, so we're not going to lose too much. Okay, well now I can rear charge the Triceratops, which I'm definitely happy to do, as I benefit from, you know, not taking any damage. I kind of need this to be dead now, so I'm going to use all the bells and whistles to ensure we aren't trapped here. That's irritating, game. You've actually cheated and put the unit inside one of mine. It's so close, in fact, I can't wheel. That unit has landed within impassable terrain and my unit. Okay, I'm just going to have to hit done. At the end of the phase, we'll pop around, but at least I can countercharge them in a moment. Do I want to use this now? No, I'll save it for when the dapper delegation recharges this. Doesn't matter. I will use this despite the woeful damage output, just to guarantee we get through. Let's shoot for us. Please don't roll so many 2s, that's inconvenient. We can recharge the angry trike. Nothing from the character. Nothing from the Triceratops. It's now dead. But these still count as extra wounds for combat resolution, which matters as I then... Not a single save, as I don't lose, so I don't have to... So losing wouldn't have been terrible, as I would have just fled and gotten out of the way. So Throcker finishes the Triceratops. Takes no damage in return. I suppose there's a unit of skirmishers there with your name on it. Kill this, thereby preventing them from intercepting the brutes. Nothing for the hussars to do. Do I take this charge or do I allow them to shoot me, thereby distracting me? I could of course take the charge and win, but then the bruisers may turn around. In the event they do, it's not the end of the world, as I can simply flee away from them. No, they're after the warriors. Fine, once this unit's dead and gone, I can flee away that way instead. Extra attacks for the brutes. Now's a good time. You have no target, and now we walk right. So this should be dead. This should be dead. And what on earth are my poor hussars to do? Begin positioning perhaps around here to counteract these bruisers. When they charge this and I flee, they'll be drawn this way, so perhaps I can get around them in a moment. Lose none due to tough as nails. 3 wounds. And the one that really matters, doing 8 wounds, instant killing it. Well done, gentlemen. Gives the skirmishers an extra turn to shoot at me, which is a shame, but we'll do just fine. 11 wounds. Was it really worth coming back, guys? Pick off one chap. 2s rerolling 1s, and then 6s rerolling 6s. So there's only a 1 in 36 chance of me missing, and then only a 1 in 36 chance of them saving a wound. So rather dire for the poor skirmishers. Skirt snacks, having a bit of a binge session. Takes no damage. Slightly, ever so slightly outclass completely helpless units of range defense 2 power 2 skirmishers. Will be charged here. I have no interest in being charged there. I could simply disregard them and have Oscar come back here and kill this, which I will do. They're not worrying enough to waste time with. One of his being shot. No, they've completely fumbled it and chosen not to shoot. Likely because their target was the hussars and they couldn't draw line of sight. That's the only possible reason I could conceive why they wouldn't simply take the shot. Well, as I intend to charge this unit with Oscar and Throcker, and I can rear charge them. They rally with double one. Fine. What I can do instead is I can use this unit to engage the skirmishers. I may take some damage because it's a front charge, but I get a 2-up save rerolling, so again, not that concerned. Out of the way, please. Yes, when our units fail to rally, they actually stand still for a turn, unlike enemies that immediately start running. Please disregard the Hogshire Hussars phasing through units. That is intentional. Now we rally. I think I'll just skip the rest as there's not really much to do. Hussars can kill both this and this. No double ones. No whammy. Oh, they did the exact same amount of damage as Throcker and Oscar. Okay, hits every time. They get a 5-up save because they're more durable, so they actually get away with it. Double 5. That might save them from a poor discipline check, those 2 saved wounds. No. Rolled averagely, which in this instance isn't good enough. Already routing this turn, so this is irrelevant. I won't charge as I actively want the Newt skirmishers to target this unit and not something else. They've failed to target anything, so disregard, skip the rest. So the chaps and lads sustain some damage, but of our units, they're the easiest to heal. We managed to keep the pressure off the Dapper delegation, which is more important. Free healing is appreciated, and the lads leveled again. Gold, replenishment, or loot healing. The healing is irrelevant, we'll go up to full size anyway. So I guess the gold, because I can at least press it once for some extra use. Really, we wanted the extra unit size, but didn't get it. Shame. And then the hussars. Replenish, we don't need it. Won't stay down, recover an extra model is irrelevant as it's going to be the end of the game. So, bizarrely, the best possible option is discipline. It's the only one that applies any effective benefit in combat. So, there we are. We finally learned some discipline on our heavy cavalry. Now, for healing, Oscar will heal to full. Takes the gold. This unit will heal to full. We can take the gold. The Orc Warriors won't level, so we'll heal twice. Heal back a minimum of 8 Orcs and be at full strength, so take the gold. The Brutes will have to take the XP, so I get 1 heal now and only 1 heal from the campsite, which means we should have to heal now in order to get to a proper strength value. And then Hussars will, of course, heal to full, so take the gold. 630 is not bad. We're rich, and that allows us to buy an extra unit of Brutes, which are excellent. We rather like Brutes. Okay, immediately purchase Bloodlust, that's easy. And I get the unit size, which I think is probably worth more on average than the skill, as I can get them up to the full 15 before the fight, so yes, that's the way to go. That's basically the perfect set of upgrades that you can get for those. Excellent, that leaves us with 368, with which to splurge and upgrade our guys. Okay, prowess is irrelevant. We are already skill 6 with Throcker, and have the magic item that benefits +1 to hit. So effectively, with the highest skill we'll ever encounter on the enemy side being skill 5, it's irrelevant. In fact, the point of extra skill I took was, I realised immediately there was no point because, oh no, I suppose it technically matters. If we encountered enemy skill 5 stuff, we'd be hitting on 4s, and then +1 to hit would make it 3s to hit. But because we're now skill 6 and +1 to hit, we always hit on at least 3, and then we'll improve to 2+, and then the rerolls will let us reroll. So that's worthless. Command is borderline pointless as well, so I'll take the extra power, potion of power. The only thing he lacks is attack, so just a few more attacks is good. Giving 318. For these, again, we'll prioritize curse standards for the extra damage output. And then banners of mists and swiftness will be the next. So yeah, banners of swiftness here is good. And some banners of mist to prevent being shot to death. So -1 to hit, -1 to hit, -1 to hit, -1 to hit. Leaving us with 93. Which is enough for what? Some war banners. They give combat score, so in case you get stuck in a brutal, long slugfest combat, you get extra score for free. Who would want it? Valor's real discipline text, that's not too impressive, so we'd simply do war banners. Of all of these units, maybe we'll give it to the Dapper delegation, as I intend to throw them into some really nasty fights. I'm missing 7 for an extra war banner, so I'll have to buy some. I could buy command. Just there. Oh, why not? There we are. We are a noble upper class orc. Of course, we have a command presence, so there we are. We'll take the somewhat dodgy magic item. We heal basically to full across the army, if I game this out correctly. Extra XP. Oscar gets an extra attack. Thank you kindly. And then you are already full, so the healing XP are moot. You have to heal. The brutes are the one where I have to choose, so let's just do this quickly. So either I take the healing and go to 20 of 20, or the level. Obviously, I went all this way to try and give them the level. However, we can check to consider. I don't think there's anything the Dapper delegation could get that would really be beneficial. It would probably... Looter won't matter. They could get the skill. The skill would be a big deal. So that's what we're gambling on, because the skill 3 is a bit unfortunate. Going up to skill 4 would be rather nice. Not for damage output, we'll still be hitting on 4s, but it means some enemies we encounter will only be hitting us on 4s instead of 3+. It makes winning fights considerably easier. So we could get unlucky. We could get replenishment, or looter, or even extra unit size now would be terrible, as we can't benefit from it. But I'm willing to gamble and take the risk. I'm going to give up 2 orcs for the odds on of trying to get the extra skill point. No, we failed. Pointless, pointless, pointless. Or 3 completely useless upgrades. Yep. Should have gone for the extra 2 of them, but never mind. It makes a perfectly nice 6x3 unit size, so I'm not upset. My OCD is satisfied. Replenishment doesn't matter when we don't take damage. Won't stay down doesn't matter when there's only 1 battle left in the entire campaign. And gold is irrelevant when there's only 1 battle left in the entire campaign, when we don't get to spend anything. So which of these do you think just won't stay down, because I guess it's kind of thematic? Sure, whatever. Right, as you saw, there's our final army. We went with fairly large unit sizes, which is useful, and stretch the units out. Who hasn't... We have the Black Claws there, but we haven't named them. Haven't really come up with a name for them. This is not spelt correctly because I don't know how it's spelt, but that's... Yeah, it's the bourgeoisie, the bourgeois brutes. There's absolutely no chance that's spelt correctly, so you can go and correct that in the comment section for me. I won't look it up. I'll just whoever gets there first, I'll learn it directly from you. But that is our fully established, refined regal army for the Act 3 final boss. World's Hope. I do hope you brought a second set of trousers, as this is going to be quite grim for you. Going first, that's fine. Now, Oscar and Throcker can fly over terrain, so I'll simply use you to hop over. I'm going to trust the Boar Riders to systematically kill everything on this flank, which means all of our infantry is going to line up here. There will be some rather powerful units coming. Typically, the AI likes to put big monsters and heavy cavalry on the side, so I'll put some real heavy hitters over here, the Dapper delegation there, and then I'll just fill the middle with infantry units. Just about gives us room to squeeze through, and this we can fly over and hit things at the back. So monster. There's a cannon there facing Oscar directly, which is a tragedy because he's going to be super effective at shooting us. But oh well, we'll have to endure it. We can sustain. We've got 6 wounds, so unless we're inconceivably unlucky and everyone goes through, we will survive. Okay, our Banner of Mist means they can only hit us on 6s, so they do basically nothing. Not that they rolled any 5s anyway. Then we get a 3-up save re-rolling, so solid effort handgunners. Druid will probably come forward and engage us in combat, which is fine. I'm happy to kill it. I'll move this unit forward just to make sure, you know, fact, if I'm lucky, I'm actually intentionally going to move this unit in such a way that I draw line of sight from the rangers. Hopefully meaning that they end up shooting me and not Oscar. Okay, they fire. Yes, they fired. Well, actually, the cannon fired into Hussars. Great. Worst case scenario is I lose 1 Hussar instead of a third of all of Oscar's wounds. Perfect. Well, that was the most threatening thing they could have done out of the way. Now we'll just walk forward. I get I think it's a 2-up save re-rolling 1s, so yeah, nothing. We're amazingly resilient against ranged fire. Near enough the best possible outcome to their ranged options. There's still a ranged unit at the back. This unit has failed to actually charge me. Okay, well in that case I'm going to charge and kill the handgunners and then just kill all of you. More ranged output. We have the Banner of Mist, which takes some of the edge off. And it's 3s re-rolling 1s, so only a single casualty. All my bonuses stacked on top of each other there. Okay, now how do I handle this? Conveniently, that ranger unit will not declare a charge, so I may be able to squeeze Oscar in here and charge through and kill their cannon before it can do anything annoying. It's going to be a bit tight fit, but it's worth a try. There and then twist a bit. Ooh, no, I'm still visible there, I'm afraid. Must be possible. If I go closer to the edge, kind of get to here and then twist around. That I'm there. Unfortunately, I'm so close to the terrain that when the round ends and goes to the next one, I'll be bumped off the wall. Which is going to be a problem, as that may put me into charge range of something. So let's move a bit further. Right, I'm well clear of the terrain. I'm only visible to the rangers who will not charge me and the dryads who are out of range. The dragon can't reach. I'm pretty sure I'll be safe from the Inferno cannon, so yeah, I'll just go and pick off that annoying cannon right now. They don't matter. As for our infantry line, well, honestly, I think I could just walk forward and take them head on. That Treant is a real headache because it's defense 7. I don't even have a... I suppose if I use the war cry this turn as I charge in, that would allow me to do some damage to it. Yeah, I'll probably just have to suck it up. Do I not have a Banner of Fury here? No, I never got it. Okay, so we'll just have to let it charge me, and then these can walk forward and fight these ones. Not so far you get flanked, that'd be a bit silly. Can't reach their units this turn, so just stand there. Don't know what their plan is, but I'm going to ignore them. Okay. Good win here. This is happening as well. Good. Wouldn't mind, I'll just hop over and eliminate your worst damage output unit. That may subsequently lead us to being flanked later, but Throcker can always fight backwards, so I don't actually care. Then here, what do I want to charge and why? Well, if I charge this, I should be in a position next turn, once these break and die, to just kill this entire flank, which I think is fine. You can just use have you handle all of this. If I charge this, it's kind of... I may end up being flanked and killed by the dragon. The only way the Hussars lose is if they get hit in the back or side and then lose a discipline check, because even with their heightened incredible discipline, they're still not the bravest of fellows. Our sons of nobles here who have wandered onto the battlefield aren't necessarily the most disciplined troops, so that's an interesting choice. You may end up getting flanked for free there, depending on how those deep guard position. We'll absolutely use one of these now. I think I can be convinced to use Warcry this turn to kill both this and this. These are tough units. In fact, some of the toughest they've got. Do I use abilities on a unit of handgunners? Absolutely not. I'll save them for tougher stuff. Because there's no longer any Hussars to distract them. They're shooting us. But I get a 3-up save re-rolling 1s. I managed to not roll any 1s. I just rolled 2s. I have to use this now, as there's no way I get through it otherwise. Yeah, this, I thought that would happen. Let's use Warcry now. There's no need to bury the lead. I'm going to save the Potion of Power for when this unit charges me, because then I can use the Potion of Power backwards and they'll bounce off me. I think the Druid there cast Regrowth and tried to heal the Treant, but the Treant hadn't taken any damage yet and isn't allowed to overheal. So, slightly questionable tactics from the AI there. That's actually the worst possible outcome. That range unit just slaughtered my Rizwaji brutes. Wow, that's terrible. Okay, in that case, what I'll do is I'll try and wiggle around here. Now, I can obviously get there to escape their charge. And in doing so, I can flank them, which means I can ignore... Oh, but they haven't moved yet, so they'll probably come forward. I need to wait for them to activate, which is going to be annoying. So I'll have to do this first. Somehow I'm movement 10 because of Warcry, of course. And because I'm movement 10, I can actually skip straight by them and get to here. Okay, they did do that. I thought so. Well, they can fit there, so they can charge me. And annoyingly, it's hard for me to charge back because of the angle. Might not actually be able to fit my unit there. They deny me the charge. It's kind of painful because I need the extra power to fight them with their masterwork armor. Sort of get away and just accept a battle with this unit instead. So obviously they can't draw a straight line from here to here anymore. So they can't legally charge me, so I'll simply take the fight with these foot knights and crush them. Ouch, just eliminated half the unit. That was a 3-up save and we failed 8 of 11. We lose 1 to the commander, and then the unit rerolls its hits, which is annoying. But I get a 3-up save, so only 1 casualty. Still falls to hit, but even their high armor and power 8, so you get squashed. Goodbye. See what a real brute unit can do. The Treant, not exactly amazing in damage output, is however super durable. There, that was the one and only turn I could do meaningful damage because I was power 5. Now we're going to be stuck trying to chip wounds off of it on the rolls of 1s. I need this cannon dead and gone, so I'm not stuck fighting it. Good start. Do these quickly, yeah. No damage. They have to roll double 1 to stay, and they do not. Congratulations, you've rewarded yourself with a battle with a dragon. I'll do this now so they can't stop me. Those will accept that for what it is. Kill all of this. Okay. So now this is the one and only turn you could perhaps break this unit, so you've got to try while you have the chance. Everyone use your bells and whistles. I'll use that one. I'll use the one that doesn't make us fearless, as fearless will be helpful later. Wild form has been cast on the druid, which increases its attacks and defense. It's not going to matter, to be honest. We can use the other one there, but whatever. Okay, well, if this unit breaks and runs, they will be able to see me, which is a shame. I may as well use the extra attacks to try and force it to roll a bunch of 1s. I'd like to wait and see if that unit rallies. I haven't had an opportunity yet. I've basically run out of units except this. I will use the Potion of Power, because I'm going to fight backwards here, so I'm going to need help. That's the last unit left and they haven't used it yet, so I'm going to have to hedge and just assume they rally. If I can get there to charge them in a way that I can't be stopped, that'd be great. Has that foreman unit moved into the perfect spot to stop me? By accident? Probably yes. Trying really hard to hug the... I think I can just about pull this off. What about 7.3? Okay, that moves us into range. 7.2 in range. It's in range. 0.1 then. It says 7.2, however, there's multiple types of 7.2. So that's out of their radius. Very much looks like I can easily catch and kill those knights and get them off the field. May subsequently get me flanked by the foreman, but anyone who fights this is going to lose because it's going to be a dwarven veteran unit infinitely re-rolling all of its saves due to shield wall. And they have the command stat and the character, so it's super high discipline, so you'll never break them. Do rally, so I'm just going to try and pick this off now before they tar pit me forever. Lose no lads to the big tree monster. Doing no wounds, this is the problem. Could have given us at least 2 there usually. It should be somewhat easier. But knights are more of a durable unit than a damage output one, but I've got the teeth to cut through them. You have to roll double 1 to stay, and even with your fancy rerolls you don't manage it. Right, wow. Character actually got one of us, well done. Dragon dies instantly for the trouble. Munches a few hussars before it goes, but yeah, this entire flank's going to be killed. Can you defeat this before you're completely broken? That's fantastic. As outcomes go, you've got 6 wounds. You won. Well done. Yeah, we'll call it a draw between this unit and you. They've basically taken you off the board, but you have broken them. Mercifully, because Throcker gets to fight backwards, he does 5 wounds. Oscar can't, he counts as a unit, so yeah, we only take 1 point due to the rear charge, so we actually win by a lot. And now we can turn around and just start chipping them. Take some time. Okay. That's perfect, I'll do that now. We'll have to take this battle. Yeah, I could charge this, which then allows me to charge the cannon later, which is the way to go. If I charge the cannon first, I then wouldn't be able to catch those subsequently, so let's do this one first. The cannon can't move, but the handgunners can, and they'd almost certainly move to some annoying position out of my way. These lonely 5 brutes can't quite reach anything. There's an extra E in bourgeoisie, maybe. I can't quite tell. Use your extra attacks, you'll need it. You don't need extra attacks to defeat 9 handgunners. Ah, very good. So because they were distracted by this unit, they ended up turning around. Well, in that case, what I can do is ignore them. Simply hitting the back of the Rangers when they inevitably rally. I will use this as I've still got a lot of health here I need to get through. Of course, they rally, so I'll just hit them again. Oh, 1 loss, oh no. Roll some 1s, curse you. There we go. 75% of the way there, and it double 6 for the leadership check. That's slightly annoying. It's actually now in an awkward spot. I'd rather it have just stayed on us. They get 5 up saves instead of 6 up, so they may eventually save 1, who knows. We are just going to keep winning until they run away. Which is right now. Here we go. Right, 4 losses to the guard. I only get 10 hits, which isn't great, but I do win quite handily. 7s, but they get to reroll because of their own banner of valor, so we're stuck. Character cheats and fights backwards. I shouldn't really complain, as it's the entire reason Oscar and Throcker weren't immediately forced off the board. And they hold. Okay, we're going to be here a while. Less so on this side. 1 handgun escapes with its life. We have this mess. This is easy. This one's easy. Do I take this charge, or do I allow the Rangers to shoot me and then charge them in the back and kill them? I think I'm happy just to keep murdering Dryads, because once this is dead, I'll then use the Boar Riders to come around and hit them. And they'll be facing the wrong way. It'll be very easy to flank charge them. Okay, this unit's in a bit of trouble later. Save that, so we can do more damage now. That's exactly what we thought would happen. Wow, they really want this unit dead. Sorry, guys. I'll come up here. Just stay with the Treant, as it's functionally guaranteed to rally. Is it, what, 11 or 12 sees it run away? And there's only, from 2 dice, there's only 3 rays to roll. Higher. You can roll double 6, 5, 6, or 6, 5, and that's it. Hey, a draw. We are eventually going to lose this one, I'm afraid. Over here we'll probably win due to being just outstatting them. And they're gone. A few more Rangers. They hold, and that means you are the most dead unit of brutes in the world. Cannon's gone. Yeah, crews suffer a -2 defense penalty when you're attacking them. Contributing damage for morale purposes. Now, I'm not going to charge them. I'm going to accept 1 round of fire, because I get a 2-up save re-rolling, so I'll be fine. And then that will allow me to position Oscar and Throcker in a much better spot to help with other things. That's a flank rather than a rear, which is a shame. Do I take this now? I think so. Or I could wait for... Annoyingly, they'll probably turn around and I'll never be able to charge them later on. So let's commit. I'll bring in someone to help with this unit momentarily. But we're not going to win this. In fact, they'll take very little damage due to their obscene re-rolling. Well, I'm power 8 on the charge, so maybe I can overwhelm them. 7. Yeah. So they can get as many dice as they like. I'm not going to roll double 1. You would hope. Yeah, the Hussars easily handle this unit. There's the infinite shield wall use. If they break this turn, it's hilarious, as they can't. Shield wall will effectively kill them all. It sets their movement to 0, so if they fail a morale check and run, they won't be allowed to run and just die on the spot. It's the recompense for having such a powerful infinite use ability. Now here, I'd like to position Throcker in such a way that I can hit as many units as possible. So I think here is ideal, as I could recharge this. I could theoretically catch, the tree end, and if they hold on, they'll reorient and face that way, so I'll recharge those. It lets me cherry pick wherever I want to put this. Noble, okay. Or knob, as orcs like to refer to them. Oh yeah, we're losing this one now. Not gonna. There you go, we finally lost the combat. You got me. Yeah, just do what last bit of damage you can before you die, which is very quickly. Yeah, we did the last 2 into that, very good. And then we can charge this and have a direct battle there. I lose 1 to the character fighting sideways. 7 hits. They get a 6-up save, but they get to reroll, so still good damage. I lose. Oh, that's a shame. Losing 2 there is really sad because it makes it easier for them to pass. Not that it would matter anyway. Look, they can't physically fail. It's such a good roll. Okay. This is dead. I think I have to take... For some reason they didn't charge me there. I assume they would. Pop through there. Re-rally. Well, that rewards you by being charged again. Yeah, now we use this because there's quite a few rangers to get through. They're on the case. There's shield wall again. Nothing from the character, but it gets to reroll all of his hits because of True Strike. That is an incredibly highly buffed commander. This must be the commander of the full army. There you go. Positive and negative rerolls counteract, so they just get their 6-up save, which they fail. They get their rerolls here, so wow, they failed all 4. That's really good news for us. Now roll a decent save so we can kill their morale. Okay, we won by a huge amount. That might be enough to break them even with... No, because they're fearless. They're veterans, of course they are. How could I forget? The numbers are irrelevant. Yeah, the only way through that unit is basically to butcher the whole lot of them. Can't roll a 1, even with the reroll. Try as you might. So that's exactly... This is pretty much the perfect way to handle this. You have 2 high power units just smashing into it from 2 sides. Flee for your lives. You're faster than them, so you can get away. Yeah, and you have distance on them as well, so they can't catch you. We're safe. We fail to rally, so they'll charge me next turn. A shield wall again. They also rally. They also rally. The AI's not going anywhere. I lose 2 to the character. Yeah, another 3. Well, if we can kill all the veterans, that means the character doesn't get fearless anymore. It's irrelevant. I think the foreman died from all the damage output. No, he's alive on a wound. But he's surrounded. So he doesn't... So shield wall will have killed him, and even if shield wall wasn't there, I'm realising that they're completely surrounded anyway, so once they fail a morale check, they just get run down. Well, that's that. Yeah, routing has turned the enemy's lost. So this is the only real active unit now. How would I handle this? Well, you would kill this one. This unit would kill both this and this, as even if the rangers rally, this will be dead, and then we'll recharge them next turn. And I'd have Oscar and Throcker swing around here. Interesting, they're after me. It doesn't change anything. This turn won't, the next turn won't play out, but just to demonstrate what I would do. Here, here. Back a bit because I have the movement for it. Flank them. Dead, dead, dead. And then there's one Dryad there who's not accounted for the moment. On, and the Rangers would join them shortly. But we've already won. So some skew-if SOVL rolling there with the archers firing at my poor brutes, but otherwise it's relatively easy. Ah, congratulations. You have conquered it all. Such is our lot in life, to succeed in everything we do, as a proper upper-class gentleman should. Okay, 101 is pretty good for a melee character. Without any, he's not, the Warchief doesn't have any of the fancy bells and whistles that some of the others have. It's not the monster characters or the Saurian Wall or doubling wounds and things like that, but still good. 47's not great, but Oscar was really there just to tank damage for us, which he did valiantly. Let's not chastise his contribution. It was an exemplary effort. Limited Spire lads somehow massively underperformed the Trinity College chaps, just maybe because I didn't involve them in combat very much. They didn't have the quite the same level of higher tier education that the chaps had, so of course they're struggling. Dapper delegation did great for their relatively low attacks. That's good and quite durable. The Bourgeoisie brutes never had a chance, and the Hogshire Sars, of course, being the MVPs, so borderline unkillable. Actually quite offensively potent when we get the charge, less so without it. And I've got heavy cavalry, as history dictates, is dictated by the most noble and regal of all of our characters. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If so, please do consider liking and subscribing. It does help out the channel, of course, and share the videos around. It also helps out SOVL. SOVL is entirely free to play for the first 5 factions, so if you had any interest in playing, you like the Orks or want to give any of the 4 others a try for free, I strongly encourage you to do so. It's a very addictive game. You may become enamored with it like I did, and if you're interested, you can then stretch over to see some of the other ones. More SOVL content is of course available on the channel, so if you want to see the paid for DLC factions in action, whether or not you might be interested or consider investing, then of course you can double check. If you have any notes for any runs you would like to see, if there's anything that catches your eye, do let me know. I'm more than happy to play through any character or army. The game is pretty fun no matter how you play it. Or if you just want to chat with me and others in the comment section, that's great too. Thank you very much. I do hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.